How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Grid 2019, and I think I'm on the middle of the career, around there, not sure, I don't even know, to be fair. Yeah, kinda, a little bit on the middle. It's hard to tell since these ones are so locked and I cannot really play them. I should have played this one considering that it's lined up with this. Well, I'll do that when I reach that. So, Super Sprint... wait, this is a single race? I think it say that. Oh, and it's the Okutama. Okay. Yeah, that's a great way to start a stream. That is a great way.
Night blossoms are abloom here in Okutama.
Okay, that's how it's gonna be. Starting the stream like this is certainly not what I was expecting, but hey, it's fine. Cannot be worse than that time that I started with that NASCAR pickup truck race. Maybe. Wow, pretty cool. The issues that doing a quali here is gonna be so long, dude. I mean, it's a 2-minute quali, but the issues that I cannot even guarantee that I'll do a decent one. This is gonna be a disaster. I might get stuck here for a while. Seems that in this game the devs really show their love for Okutama. Team, and I'm already getting a penalty. Okay. Ironically, if I want to take this the least amount of time possible, I have to qualify. Not the biggest fan, but I have to. Okay. So 149. As I say, the irony is the fact that I mean, even qualifying, I might get a horrible lap time. I guess as long as I make it to top 6, it's fine. But yeah, that's the thing, can I? Well, see, if I do that, it's unlikely. No, ironically, I think that probably was faster than doing the corner the normal way. But you can see I'm already 1.5 seconds behind. That's not good. And that was very slow. I should expect me to be stuck here for a while. At least it's not on a car that I find hard to drive at all. It is a pretty nice car. But yeah, it's not a pretty nice track, that's what it is. Okay. Team, 2 seconds behind, dude, really? Yes, I knew I wasn't gonna be doing good, but I was expecting it to be a little bit closer. I guess it won't. Well, to mention that this version of Okutama, I don't know if it's the reverse one or not, but I'm more familiar with the other one. And this is gonna be like 4 seconds behind. That was last place. So if you want to get into at least top 6, you need to be in 149. And that's pretty rough. Alright, that's fine. I'll keep going until eventually I get a good lap time. It will happen eventually. Like, after so many attempts, I should be familiar enough with this thing. I guess it's mostly that most corners I can probably do way faster than I think I can. But it's just that they are, to me, so hard to to predict. I think that I wouldn't need to predict with how many times I race here, but apparently no, I still need to. Okay, I use the brakes too much there, though that corner with the irregular elevation is wild. Then you have corners like that one that if you don't brake, it's straight into the wall. Or that one. Yeah, that has to be a restart. I wanna see the following corners to see, because here I need to know when to pay more attention. What corners are the troublemakers? Well, the good thing is that it remembers my best time from last session. Wow, that wasn't penalized, okay. Yeah, that was slightly better, but nowhere near enough. It's okay, I'll keep doing hot laps, no worries. As many as they take. Though, if a time attack ever happens here, I'm gonna take even longer. Because in time attack, you cannot be like, well, Sid's place is fine. No, Sid's place is not fine in time attack. At all. Pretty far from fine. Okay, you can pretty much do all of that at full speed if you know exactly where to be. That one I might have it saturated, but I think that was pretty fast. Okay, well, in fact, that's faster than the leader. So yeah, that first section, you wanna do it like that. Then this corner appears and is where... Like, I don't know how to do it better than that. And it looks slow like that, so I do assume you can do it better, but... How? I don't know. Okay, this one... It's fine. It was good enough. Oh, this one, you also needed to slow down. That made me waste a lot of time. Damn it. I guess ironically with this car you kinda want to drift. There are some times where you want to steer way sooner than you normally would, simply to make this thing drift, because you don't even lose that much time by drifting with this car. Yeah, unfortunately, because of that wall hit, it wasn't very good. That corner right after the bridge is the... Well, not the only one that I need to do better, but that's the main culprit. Everything else is, I think, acceptable at least. At least we know you can do this at full speed. All those corners, the first time you have to brake is after the tunnel here. All of this, I have not took my finger off the accelerator and I have not used the brakes. After the tunnel you brake for that one. That was slightly slower than last time, but no problem. I don't know how to do that. And that was even slower than last time. in this corner. That doesn't seem like it was that fast either. I mean, it obviously was faster than any of the previous attempts, but that's not saying much. Though if anything, it surprised me just how treacherous all of these corners are. It really feels like you're going in blind. Has nothing to do with it being nighttime. If it was daytime, I would be seeing the exact same. Okay, this one seems better. It was better, but not an amazing grid position. I can keep doing better. Though, like, if I want to do the top sits, I was told, you know, I need to do way better. That's the issue. Like, that's like 1 second faster. Well, not one. Less than 1 second, but still has to be impressive. Okay, well, that's already a bad start. But I believe in myself. Not to mention, these are the only events in the game where winning is actually hard. Like, winning these events is the only time where you actually need to try hard to win. It's a wild combination. Single race in Okutama. Well, I don't know if this or single race in Barcelona is gonna be worse. One of the two. Okay, back to being faster than the leader on the first sector. Like, even something like that didn't look that sloppy when it came to the car movement, it still felt slow. It felt like I didn't do what I should have done. I don't know what it is that I should have done. Was a good corner. I think that for this sequence of corners you have to be very close to the wall. Right, so here I could still choke, because this is a good attempt, but this corner... I think it was okay. Alright, 149 at least. Oh, that's pole position, okay. Nice, I'll take it. Can't get any better than that. I think here, well, that's the problem. If I restart here, will I keep my pole position? I wonder. Hopefully. I mean, this is still not done yet. You already seen multiple times how even leading I cannot maintain position sometimes. Well, at least here having the experience from the quali, I should be able to at least maintain the lead for a while. I mean, it is the kind of thing that you need to do in order to learn a circuit. You gotta do it over and over again until eventually you drill it in your brain. In most cases it's not necessary, you can just beat the AI without that. I guess in this one, because of how, as I say, how unintuitive of a track it is. Yeah, so that corner you can see the guys behind are doing it way better than I am. It's fine. Okay. So here I guess you, even being first and not needing to overtake anyone yet, it's still, like, you can still feel the pressure. Like, you feel like you need to do the quali 3 times in a row. to maintain the lead. Yeah, at least, like, I really like working for that quality. In fact, I don't know, for example, what I do there. Okay, the AI does it that fast, yeah. I thought I was being special, but no, not really.
Great first lap, you're leading the race.
Yeah, but it's insane how you can take that at full speed. It makes no sense. You will be able to take a corner like that at full speed, but yeah, you do. To think that there are so many things to do better if I wanted to do like an actual very fast lap. Like that previous one, and well, here the guy behind me also has a Ferrari, so you cannot be like, these guys are using another car that can do better. No, this guy is using the exact same one I'm using, and he is acing that corner and I'm not. It's as I say, you kinda need to keep the quali pace in these 3 laps if your idea is to win. I mean, it obviously helps not needing to overtake and simply at most worrying about blocking, but yeah. So how is it going, Hehan? You thought it was Need for Speed Carbon? That would be good. I really like Carbon. After playing the entirety of the Need for Speed series,
Last lap, so hold the lead.
I fucked up. Fuck me.
Kristen, tell us a little something.
Why did I do that? I used the brakes, that's what happened. That's the reason why I messed up. Why did I use the brake? Well, that's the thing, dude. I have to tell myself do not brake to do this, because I obviously instinctively brake. How could I not brake? It like looks like a 90-degree corner and yet you do it at full speed. For fuck's sake, dude. Well, at least I didn't technically fuck up at the very end. It was at the start of the last lap, which sucks, but... yeah. Really? Already starting with an overtake like that? It's fine. I can overtake you back. Still don't understand, like, I'm seeing them do the corner now, like, I'm right behind them and I still don't understand how they do that. It does seem like they stick pretty close to the right wall. Jesus fucking Christ, dude, how can a single track be so shit? Anyways, I was gonna say that after playing the entirety of the Need for Speed series, Carbon is still the game. I think it's the best one in the series. It is. It is. And I'm surprised. I seen the opinion of other people about Carbon, and some people say that it's like an unfinished game. I don't know how you can think, like, I know how you can think Carbon is unfinished, but if anything, to me it's the perfect experience. It doesn't drag on like Most Wanted does. Most Wanted is a very long game. It's a game that could definitely be shorter. It's not bad by any means, and obviously without Most Wanted, Carbon wouldn't exist, but The point is that Most Wanted is guilty of that, of going on for longer than it should, because it doesn't have like all that to offer, right? Like the length it goes through by just already repeating what it has been doing for a while. Like there are at least 5, and I think 5, I'm still being short on that. I think that there are like maybe 7 of the blacklisted guys that if you remove, like the game wouldn't suffer. And I'm not talking about the characters themselves. I don't give a fuck about the characters or whatever car they are driving. I mean, in terms of what the game offers, gameplay-wise. If you just remove 7 of those blacklisted, nothing really changes. You know? Like, the game will still be what it is. It just will be shorter. But yeah, if you're gonna make a game that is longer, you want to have more variety than that. And Carbon, I feel like, understood that properly. It was like, okay, this is all we have. We could make a game as long as Most Wanted, or we could end it here and not just keep throwing the same shit we've been throwing for like the past 5 opponents, right? Carbon history, well, in my case, the history, like, wait, no way, what you mean track limits? Oh, for fuck's sake, track limits! On that corner, you say that I skip the track limits, are you kidding me? What are you on about, stupid ass steward? What are you looking at?
Race here. Good luck.
What was the steward looking at? I can't believe it. But yeah, that's what I get for trying to do that corner like the AI does it. Trying to clearly do it faster than I physically can, and yeah, that happens. Nice. Cool. I appreciate it. Anyways, no, about the story of the games, Carbon, Most Wanted, or whatever, Need for Speed never had a good story. Like, the story is obviously an excuse to have the game happen, and if it wasn't there, I guess it will feel more empty, because, you know, it's like you don't contextualize what is happening in the game, but yeah, the stories I could do without them. They are all pretty dumb. Some dumber than others, mind you. In my case, I think that both Most Wanted and Carbon have very dumb stories. But yeah, like, that applies to any Need for Speed game that has a story. Like, which other one? Pro Street, well, barely has a story, but still pretty dumb. What comes after Pro Street? Shift? No, Shift doesn't come after Pro Street. 26. Don't remember. After Pro Street?
Good start. Hold the lead.
Oh, Undercover. Yeah, that's the one that comes. Undercover. Undercover has a pretty also shitty story. Yeah, maybe like pretty much just as dumb as Most Wanted and Carbon. Well, then I think after that comes Need for Speed Shift, the first one. But yeah, those obviously don't have a story. Well, I guess you can say it's your story about becoming a professional driver, but it's like, not really. It's not a story with characters. Well, then you have the run. The run also has well, that's the thing, the run has a stupid story, like every other game, but it makes it cinematic. That's what's good about the run. Like, in Most Wanted and Carbon, and well, Undercover as well. Well, with Undercover at least it does try to incorporate the story a little bit more into the gameplay, but Most Wanted and Carbon don't really do that much. I guess Carbon does it more than Most Wanted because of the mountain pass races, I guess, but at the same time it's kind of like, you know, you have events and these events have cutscenes in between, right? Which is fine, but the point is that it's not really, you know, like, you can feel part of the story, I guess, if you have more of a role-playing brain, I guess. But in the run, the story is happening while you play. So I think that, yeah, the run probably will be the game that I say has the best Need for Speed story. And it's simply because it incorporates it into the gameplay. The other games, I'm trying to think of them. Well, yeah, Need for Speed Payback does something like that too. Like, yeah, actually Payback does that a lot now that I think about it. Yeah, Payback, I guess that will also be a candidate. It's just that I felt like the story didn't make much sense to me, really. Like, the whole... Yeah, like, I kind of remember what was Payback's story, but again, I feel like it was a little bit nonsensical. Like, regardless of if it's dumb or not, I feel like it just didn't make much sense. And, well, not like the story in the run makes much sense of having, like, that many people run from coast to coast and, you know. But, like, that's the thing. In those, you can kind of just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, these guys have an insane endurance and, you know, like, the organizers are super wealthy to not have any major issues or something like that. But in Payback, it's like you're trying to understand what's happening between the factions and all of that, and it's like you, or at least me, like I look at it, I'm like why are these guys going against each other, or like why is, you know, this happening, right? But Payback did also have that, as I say, like incorporating the story into the game. So that was pretty cool. Also then that took me almost half an hour to win this one. Holy shit. Alright, what's this? No, wait, what does it say? Oh, these are the... yeah, okay, sure. Also you can clean, I would like that. These are 3 races. One in, yeah, the Roval version of Indianapolis.
And here we are for the
That's
first round,
fine.
Kristen.
I don't
Feeling
mind.
about this one?
At least all the try-harding that you saw is not gonna happen now. So don't worry about it. But I say that and I completely go off track like that. I also gotta keep in mind that these cars are not like the previous one. These cars are not super bad to drive. They do not do what the Ferrari was doing in that previous race. They certainly is not doing that. Okay, yeah, thanks for pushing me out, bro. I appreciate it.
And here we are for the first round, Kristen.
Okay.
How you feeling about this one?
Also, why does it seem like I'm always unlocking the same shit? Like, isn't that a classic touring thing something that's been there for at least, I don't know, 3 championships or something? Like, how many times is that thing gonna be unlocked? Maybe they should use the same icon, but I don't think that's the case. Like, it seems like it is the same item, not just the same icon. And you know, after restarting the previous race so many times with me being in first and only needing to worry about myself, needing to worry about these pieces of shit certainly is something.
Okay,
So-
don't be surprised if they're gunning for you now.
Yeah. Well, I hope they... Damn it. I tried to take them out, but I couldn't. Whatever, fuck you. Fourth place, well, keep in mind that differently than the previous one, you don't need to, like, win here, because you will be carried by the points. So no need to win this one.
You're in mid-pack going into lap 2.
Okay, the issue is that, isn't this the first time I do this track? I think it might be the first time. So I'm very lost.
And here we are for the
Yeah,
first
it is the
round.
first time I do this lap, well, in this game at least. Also, no, I just read what it say there, and it's a different text. It's the same icon for some reason,
Conditions tonight.
which is the classic touring car competition, but it's a completely different text. It says, well, it doesn't it just say the name of this competition? Am I unlocking the competition I'm competing in? Seems a little bit, you know, nonsensical. Okay, pretty nice of you. Although, speaking of Need for Speed The Run, that's one game I have to replay eventually, because when you beat it the first time, you unlock the final difficulty. And I wanna play the final difficulty. Need for Speed The Run certainly. I think that looking back now, it might be a very fond memory. I like it a lot. I don't remember if I say that when I was done playing it. Well, when I was done playing it, I probably say that like it wasn't an extremely good game, but it was like okay. And I mean, I still think that. It's just that when I think at some of the other Need for Speed games, I don't think that they feel as memorable to me as that one. And it's memorable simply because it has memorable moments, right? Like, it will be impossible for me to forget that part when you are in a train, in the train tracks, and a train is coming and you have to go through the side to avoid the train. That's super cool. Or the time where there is an avalanche coming from a mountain and you gotta be fast to avoid being covered by it. Like, those sort of things are so nice. And yeah, I think the only other Need for Speed game that has something like that is Payback. They say NFS The Run's highest difficulty is terrifying. Oh, really?
This is the final lap.
Then now you're giving me even more curiosity. Now I really wanna play it. Though, you know, something that I do remember, speaking of the difficulty of that game, I play the highest difficulty that is available at the time. Why the fuck did I... Okay, that's fine, whatever. Point is that I remember that I thought one of the parts, well, the tutorial, in fact, it was right at the beginning. I thought it was bugged because you needed to be so fast to get ahead of a train. Like, basically a train was coming from the side, and if you weren't fast enough, you will stay behind. So I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do, right? Like, why am I stuck here? And yeah, it just turns out you were supposed to be faster. But sometimes, like, I tried to be faster and I just wasn't. So I was like, okay, I have to do something else. But no, it was that. It was just that hard to be faster. And if that was in the second to last difficulty, will be something to imagine what will be in the actual final difficulty. Right, that was still third place because they didn't even apply a penalty. Okay. Even if they did apply a penalty of 2 seconds, I still would have been third place. Okay. So, yeah, the thing is that... in Sepang, the full version. Well, this is the first time we're going on the full version of Sepang. Well, actually, that's a lot of first times here. Well, only 2 for now, but that's more than usual. Like, first time in Indianapolis Roval and first time in full Sepang. Okay, sure. I mean, I welcome that. I don't welcome that penalty, though. Yeah, I really wanna try that difficulty of the run. It's probably gonna be nice. Like, it's the only game in Need for Speed like that that actually has that sort of replayability, right? Because most of the other Need for Speed games, even the extremely good ones, and well, the one that I consider to be the best one, which is Carbon, they don't really have much replayability at all. I mean, yeah, you can replay it and be like, yeah, this time I'm using a different car. Of course, yeah, you can do that, but like, it's not like you have a different setting that makes it replayable, right? So I think the run might be the most replayable game, not to mention that it's also one of the shortest in the series, so it's not like replaying will feel like a chore, right? Yeah, it might be the most replayable one. Well, I guess the classic ones like Need for Speed 2 and 3 are also very replayable, yeah. Because they are mostly arcade games, as in actual arcade, you know, structure. Like, it's a 20-minute run to beat the game. So I guess those are probably more replayable. But you know, ignoring those, yeah, I think it's probably the most replayable Need for Speed. And that also is not including online, I guess, because yeah, technically with online. For fuck's sake, you and your fucking track limits. Also, that was my teammate. Oops. So yeah, that should be a restart. Not because of my teammate. Yeah, track limits. No thank you, I don't want to deal with that. You really like slowing me down, don't you? Another thing I also wanted to try is playing Most Wanted Xbox 360 version. Though I don't expect it to be that much different, you know? That's the thing. Well, maybe I could even play the PC version, but... yeah, I don't know. Well, Most Wanted, I also heard that it has an insane amount of mods. I'm not a fan of mods though. So at least now having played the original, I guess playing a mod will be whatever, but again, I'm not a fan of mods. But I also don't think that playing like either the 360 or the PC version is gonna be much different than the PS2 version. Like in Carbon it does change quite a bit, but in Most Wanted I think it's pretty much the same. Like yeah, it looks better, I guess, but I don't think that matters too much. I mean, because at that point, if I wanted to play a Need for Speed game that has very good graphics, I will play one of the modern ones, you know? But I don't think that's...
One lap down. You're in third.
that's a big draw for me. Gameplay-wise, I think they are the same. I can't really remember when's the last time that I play a mod. I don't remember. Probably was so long ago. Like, aside from using, like, I guess technically they are mods, but they simply kinda fits the game to make it playable in some cases, like in Outrun's PC port. Like, a PC port has some issues, and there is a mod that fixes those issues. So aside from that, I think that it's simply something that, you know, doesn't really get in the way of developer intent. I haven't really played an actual mod in probably a decade. What even was the last mod that I played? I don't remember legitimately. When was the last time I played a game with mods? I don't remember. It probably was an MMO, actually, which is pretty funny to think about it, because of any games that you will mod, MMOs are definitely not the ones you will want to mod, because you're gonna get banned. But I think it was Terra Online, back when it was still alive. I don't know if it's still alive, but there was a mod that basically uncensored the game, because in the server that we were playing, which I think it most likely was the American one, there were censored outfits. So the mod I installed was simply to restore them back to normal. I don't think that even counts as a mod in itself. Like, if anything, I mean, yes, it's technically a mod, but you're just going back to the developer's intent, so less of a mod and more of a fix, just like the one I mentioned with Outrun. So yeah, I don't really think I played any mods. I could be forgetting one, but I don't know which one it could possibly be. Like, I feel like even Minecraft is something that I never played with mods. I think I tried once and I couldn't make it work because I was way younger and I didn't know shit. But I just tried, I couldn't really do it. So, yeah, I don't think so. The last mod of the game, I remember... Oh yeah, hold up. You are right, Wasabi, the Mega Man for the Game Gear. Yeah, you're right. That will count, indeed. Yeah, how is it going, Wasabi? Yeah, that is correct. And that wasn't that long ago. Just that one... what the hell, dude? I was in the inside of that green little shit. How did that count as keeping the corner? Isn't the whole point of that green thing to be like from here, it's inside the track? Well, I guess no. It still was second, so I guess it wasn't a penalty. Well, eat a dick regardless. But yeah, you're right. That is a model thing that I played. Correct.
And we're heading into the
But
final
it's a
round
mod
now,
that
where
doesn't
it's all
modify the
exciting.
gameplay. It does modify the developer intent, that's for sure. Roll was never intended to be playable. But I mean, I still play the game gameplay-wise in the original way. But yeah, it does still count as a mod, yeah. The mods that change gameplay, on the other hand, I mean, I don't think I did, for a simple fact, like, I think to myself this: if I need to install a mod to change a game's gameplay, to make it be different from the original, why wouldn't I just, you know, play another game? You know? Like, for example, in the case of Most Wanted, let's say that I put a mod in Most Wanted to make the game, I don't know, harder. I mean, it's a cool idea, I guess, but what if I just play another game that is an actual harder racing game? You know? I mean, there are plenty, and especially Most Wanted gameplay is not like it's particularly hard to replicate. So there are many arcade racing games with Most Wanted, you know, handling and shit. So we'll just take a little bit of searching. But not to mention that if you play a better graphic mod, like, at that point, as I said before, just play a modern Need for Speed game. Like, I don't know, play Need for Speed Heat. Well, or even Payback, see, that's the thing. I think Payback is what did you crash against? What the hell? Did a ghost flip you or what? Wasn't Most Wanted the game where you played an easier version of the game? Well, that's what someone said. Someone, like, I don't know if it was true or not. Like, see, the thing is that when I played Most Wanted, there were a lot of people that joined in specifically for that, and obviously never again, but some of them were lacking a little bit of gray matter up there. So I'm not sure if what they said is true. It might be, it could be, but I don't think that's correct. I just made that assumption. Well, maybe someone explicitly say that it's possible, but I'm thinking more that is that one of them said, hey, this guy that you're gonna race against is like super hard, you gotta watch it. And then I ended up winning like it was nothing, and I say, what is this guy talking about? Maybe he's thinking of a different version of the game. And I think because of that, I made the assumption that other versions of the game are harder. But yeah, maybe they are actually harder. I just kinda doubt it. Because as I say, there were too many dumb people while I was playing that game, talking in chat, that thankfully only appeared for that and maybe a couple more Need for Speed games, and that's it. Man.
Okay, last lap. Come on, let's gain some places.
That's also another one of the reasons why... Wait, okay, these people are flipping by themselves. Is there a ghost in the track? Is this the ghost of Queen Elizabeth or what? Wait, is that too early to make that joke? I don't know. Is it? It's hard to tell. Maybe it is too early. Sorry. To any British in chat, sorry if it was distasteful. I don't think it's too early. Didn't that happen like 2 years ago? Or something? Or maybe Elizabeth was another one and I'm confusing their names. No, I think it was Elizabeth, wasn't it? Was it? I actually need to check it up. But yeah, I think it was Elizabeth, the last British queen that died, right? It's never too early to make a dark show. No, I mean, obviously. If anything, I know that I could... it's never... Look. Jokes by themselves, you can make any sort of joke and it can be as offensive and as rancid as you want. But if you want people to laugh, you need to know your public. Well, your public, I mean your audience, right? That's the difference. But as what you can or cannot do, you can do anything you want. That's for sure. But yeah, in this case, I'm mostly like, I don't want to offend someone, right? Alright, so this is supposed to be well, yeah, a very old car. Wait, this is a single race, isn't it? So I probably should qualify here. Maybe. Oh, so it was Elizabeth, the second Elizabeth, not the first one. Okay. Wait, we are back at Silverstone? I certainly hope her ghost doesn't come back. Okay, this car is, as expected, very hard to handle. Yes, it's a car from the 60s. If anything, it would be impressive if it was easy to handle. That Ferrari is so sexy. Yeah, not so sexy to drive, I can tell you. But it's one of the classics. Well, we have many classics here. We have the Ford GT as well. I think that's the only two cars that are here. Yeah, I know that was gonna happen. I might need to qualify for this one though. I don't think I'm winning like this. And I need to win this, so yeah. Let's quali real quick. It's a hard car to drive. Oof. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that you kind of have to... you have to try your hardest to control and not let it control you. Because yes, it's pretty hard. It's like trying to tame a bull. Well, actually, that's not a good comparison, because since this is Ferrari, we all know that Ferrari is all about horse. You know? It's like taming a wild horse, a very wild horse. I wonder if that was the idea behind Ferrari's logo. That like it had a lot of horsepower, so they made the logo a horse. Will they? Maybe no. Maybe there is a more refined version for that. Especially considering that Ferrari is supposed to be so refined, so exclusive. There's probably a better reason for the logo to be a horse than just low horsepower. Okay, this was a horrible lap. I don't expect this result to be good at all. But it's gonna be a good try. It's obviously not pole position. And it's... Wow, really? So wait, the guy in front is... Okay, the podium is super fast. Okay. Alright, sure. I don't mind.
A pleasure as always to be in your company.
Also, it's a little bit unfitting, isn't it, that we are using cars from the 60s in a version of Silverstone from 2009. It's like this guy should travel to the future. I mean, that's always something that, you know, it's one of those thoughts that I have super often. Like, what will happen if you make a person from the past come to the future? I would assume that the existence of smartphones is, like, it's gonna be a total mind break. Well, and there are many things, but I think that smartphones are certainly probably the number one.
Push them over the edge here.
It's unfortunately impossible. Of all the inventions in science fiction movies and shit, yeah, time travel is the one that cannot possibly happen. It's just not possible. Mostly depends on what their vision of the future was, where they came from. Well, ironically, smartphones are probably something that was kinda expected from the future. Because, you know, I mean, the best example in this type of scenario is Jetsons. Jetsons is a cartoon, that, well, a very old cartoon that was supposed to be futuristic, right? It is, well, it had many things that never came true, like, for example, you know, flying cars and living in, like, you know, houses that were very high in the sky and shit like that. But they essentially had, like, those sort of, fuck, no, they didn't have that, but they had that sort of, like, personal, like, instant communication devices. Like, that was something that was there before it was a thing. Like, there was military technology, but I don't think it was at that level, first and foremost. And even then, it's like, you know, it's applying it to everyday tasks, right? Like, to everyday, well, rather than task, I mean that you can at any time just talk to someone else in another part of the world, right? And that's something that Jetsons did, and it became true. Well, they also did robot maids. Robot maids so far are not a thing, but apparently China is researching that. It's probably not gonna become a thing though, because the moment robot maids become a thing, so do robot workers. Like, you know, the ones working at a construction site. If that happens, and if it's actually affordable and not something that costs like $1 million a unit, that's when everyone will lose their shows. Because at that point, what else is there to do, right? Like, if you can replace completely, like, and by replace I mean like make it automatic. You can automatize manual show, that's it. You don't need anything else. It's over. Shows are gone. So yeah, I will assume that robot maids are also impossible for now. Because yes, that will also imply robot workers are gonna be a thing. And again, robot, I mean humanoid robot workers, because yes, cars right now are assembled by robots. It's just that those robots are like robotic arms that can only do one thing, or at most two. No, I mean the humanoid ones, the one that can adapt as much as humans. And yeah, when that happens, many people are gonna die. That's for sure. Who I don't know. I can assure you that when manual labor can be automatized, many people, many people in the world are gonna die. Probably billions. But yeah, I don't think that's close to happening. Especially with the rising cost in that sort of materials. I don't think it's happening in this century at least. Because it's not about the technology being there, like it's about making the materials to make that technology cheap. That's the hard part, and that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Not anytime soon. Like, you will have to somehow discover like a, I don't know, like a super special material that you can adapt to a lot of things. But yeah. Right, so we're using the Ford GT, well, with the classic skin, the orange and light blue. I don't know exactly where this skin first showed up, but it's like basically the most classic skin of this Ford GT. Also pretty wild to think that this car is apparently from the 60s. Like, back then I guess it already looked modern. That's when they start AI generating physical materials. As much as billionaires will love that idea, yeah, that's something they cannot do. They cannot do at all. Like, they wish AI could do that, but you know, anything physical, you cannot just throw AI into it. Though you can throw it into investigating shit that maybe will result in some physical discoveries, yeah. I don't know, like, that doesn't just seem physically possible, like... Yeah, I don't know, it's not like I know much about physics or materials or whatever, but... Yeah, sounds hard to believe. But then again, what AI already does sounded hard to believe too. So, yeah. You know, I remember reading somewhere, I mean, obviously it wasn't anything serious, it was just the typical, like, prediction without any base whatsoever. I remember reading someone saying that by the end of this year there won't be any more programmers, which is obviously not gonna be the case, but the point is that imagine if that actually was the case. I will have to look for a job. What will I even work as? When the only commercial skill you have is no longer useful. So yeah, this is not gonna happen. By this I mean the race. That also is not gonna happen, the programmer thing, the race even less so. Also, even if I manage to overtake these guys, the penalty is gonna get me, so doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't even manage to do that. I need to quali, just like I did on the previous one. I cannot do it like this. Has to be a quali. And I think that that will be the rule for any... Oh wow, that was quite a corner, holy shit. I don't think I could have done that corner faster if I tried. Okay, so I was about to say that any race, or rather any event that is a single race, will most likely be... for fuck's sake. Will need to have a quality. I don't think I can win most of them without it. This is a particular case, I guess, because it's a hard track and it's also a hard car. It's a combination that, well, could be worse, yes, but it's already something. Yeah, I guess it probably will keep being the case. No, you can do that way faster than that, dude. You don't need to brake that much. That's fine. As long as this is a 5th place like in the previous race, that should be okay. You can also do that way faster than that. Damn it. Okay, you did that pretty well. Came 1.5 seconds behind. Well, if it is like last time, that doesn't matter too much. That does matter too much though. Fuck. Okay, that's fine. It's 1.5 minutes lap time for the pole position. That wasn't off track, by the way. It's off track when it wants to be off track. That one wasn't though, so hey, we're fine. What? Do you see that? That's off track, but not pretty much stepping on the grass like That's fine. That's fine. Okay, see, that one I went a little bit far. Okay, it seems that this qual is not gonna be as easy as the Silverstone one. If anything, I mean, you can tell that when you struggle in a quali, it just means that, like, the actual race, like, you don't have enough knowledge of the track to do it well. Like that one you can do it at full speed. I've been braking on that shit. This one you need to brake though. Okay. And this set of corners is so fucking evil. Okay. Yeah, I think I did that pretty slow, but... So every time that I do a corner, it really feels like the car is dying. And it probably is. Damn, that was almost as bad as the previous one. Let's hope that there is at least a big gap between the first 4 and the rest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that was almost pole position. Was enough for podium even. Okay. Whew. That was something. Hey, come on, let's win this. You should be more than capable. No, I don't need info. I need skill. And that one is way harder to get than info. Keep doing that too slow. Okay, that wasn't skipping, by the way. It was not, and that also was not skipping. Damn. You know, I think that you had a better skip detection on Autosport. Well, not to mention that I also prefer the method of Autosport on how to deal with penalties. It's ironically Autosport, like I guess, tried to be a more realistic game than this one. But something that wasn't realistic is the way the penalties apply. Like, this game is a lot more realistic with the penalties. When you skip the track, well, in a real life race, there are many ways to fulfill penalties. In some cases, they do what they do in this game, which is at the end of the race, they add seconds to your finish time, and that's when the results get applied, right? But yeah, sometimes I guess if it's a more severe infraction, like it's a more severe skipping, like they show you the black flag and you have to go to pits to fulfill a penalty, like, you know, stop and go, or something like I don't remember how the one where you go through the pit lane is called, because basically pit lanes have a speed limit, so if someone tells you to go through the pit lane even without stopping, that's still slowing you down. But I forgot the name of that penalty. Yeah, like stop and go is the one that actually forces you to stop, but the one that doesn't, how was it called? Drive-through, I think, right? It was called drive-through. Wow. Pretty nice. Amazing even. Yes, it's called drive-through. You are forced to go through the pit lane. And yeah. But yeah, obviously in races like this you wouldn't. I mean, this game doesn't even have a pit stop in the first place, you know? So such a thing wouldn't really be possible. So yeah, the closest one is the one it has, which is adding time at the end of the race. Well, there are some cases where there are also penalties where are drop to end, which is basically you need to get to the bottom of the grid. Though I don't think that applies too much to regular races like this one. Like that tends to apply more to oval races, I think. Because I mean, for races like this one, unless you have the safety car out, dropping to end is not really that possible. It will be a disaster. It will cause more accidents than anything. But yeah, I guess if the safety car is out, drop to end is reasonable, even in a race like this. But we already say this car doesn't have a pit lane. Even less will have a safety car. Well, in fact, not many games feature a safety car, you know? Even the ones that try to be all about being simulators, they don't tend to feature a safety car. And that's an integral part of racing, you know? Like, yellow flags are you know, something quite important. Oh, you can have a yellow flag without a safety car. But in a lot of cases, yellow flag comes with a safety car. And when the safety car is out, everyone has to stop behind him. The safety car doesn't precisely go fast, you know. So what usually happens is everyone just gets close together. But as I say, not many games have the safety car as a feature. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense since you kinda want races to be more fast and, you know, more action-packed, but I think it will be a nice thing to have. Even in arcade racing games, like if you do a special event that is longer than usual, it will be nice to have the safety car. Right, so that unlock another one here, the GT series. Oh, this one is 3 races, so I don't need to try hard this one. Starting at Sepang. Oh, and it ends in Barcelona. That's fine. So I wonder how you even use these cars, because these categories haven't showed up in the rest of the career events, so you cannot really purchase them. But you're also not unlocking them here. Though I didn't really check if this game has like a free race mode. It probably does. I mean, will be odd if it didn't. It probably does have it. Why is the first place so extremely far away? What the hell? Well, doesn't matter. Forget about the first place. Okay, that guy is out. The second place is that one that is at the, like, leading this group. Hopefully I can reach him. Also, I guess it's because it's sunset, but this doesn't feel like Sepang. I guess it's also because it's a version that doesn't have the... Well, it does have this corner here that is already fucked up, but I guess it could be worse. Yeah, that's gonna be a very bad sixth place. Okay. That's fine. Just keep in mind that these are 3 races, so I'll get enough points anyways. Worry not. We're going to Silverstone. Okay.
Its name is synonymous with racing. This is Silverstone.
And I guess rain is synonymous with England. Indeed. Just hope we don't see any ghosts this time. So, you know that driving a car like this in the rain seems a little bit excessive, don't you think? Because it's kind of like going through a tightrope where below it's full of Well, actually, it's a lava pool. Like, you're in a tightrope over a lava pool. But since that's not enough, you have to do that in a... Actually, damn, I don't know how this word is said. Do you say monocycle? Like that thing that the clowns use, or do you call it a different way? I don't know. Well, whatever that shit is called, it's like adding that to the equation, right? As if it wasn't enough to walking on a tightrope over a lava pool, now you're adding more bullshit into it. Well, yeah, that's how it feels to drive in rain with these cars. Fuck, it's the same corner. Oh, unicycle, okay. Gotcha, thanks. Actually, isn't it called like that in Spanish too? So why did I think of monocycle? Like, I'm pretty... I mean, that's not a word I normally use, but I'm pretty sure in Spanish it's also unicycle. Uniciclo will be the word, but like the point is that it's the same word with like slightly different letters. Yeah, I don't know where I got the idea that it was monocycle, actually. Weird. Then again, I think it will make sense, like, to form the word like that. It's still a prefix for one, so I think it will work. Alright, I'm a little bit behind here, though none of these guys is gonna win anyway, so it's a matter of, well, the point is that the next one is Barcelona, dude. You might be confused since it sounds like motorcycle. No, not really. Mono is a prefix that means single, usually. Well, I don't know if in English it's used much, but for example, in Spanish we have a word called, a word that is monoaural. That means that, well, actually no, that exists in English as well, it's just that it's pronounced differently, of course, but it means that you can only hear the sound from one side. Like when you have headphones, it only comes from one side, that's what that word means. And that mono is, yeah, that it means one, and well, the other part is for sound, right? But yeah, that's the thing. It's not the only one. You have, well, monocle, and that's an actual word in English, right? Like, it means essentially a lens in only one eye. The mono is a prefix that means one, but so is uni. In fact, I wonder what's the difference between the two. Maybe they come from different languages. It's possible. Like one comes from Greek and the other one comes from Latin or whatever. Well, monochrome, actually, that's probably a more common example than all the bullshit I'm mentioning. Monochrome means one color. Well, one color. Actually, that one I will have to also investigate a little bit further, because technically monochrome refers to black and white, and it's not one color. I guess it's simply that there is like one shade, that shade being black. I guess, I don't know, I'm not an expert in colors, but and this is even worse than I thought it would be. But I think that ironically this pathetic result is enough to win, because none of the of the guys at the top are actually at the top. Oof.
We're on the last lap. Let's make up some ground.
Tim, the piano is being very deadly right now. It's too much. Man, this track is so fucking shit that I really hope we don't get a single instance where there is only one race here, because trying to win this will be impossible. Though, yeah, I am aware that this car is not the best example when it comes to trying to do a nice race, but yeah, that might be enough to win. Did my teammate cuck me? No way, dude.
And we're heading into the final round now.
That's
where it'll all be decided.
really. Why did you do that, teammate? Why are you like that? You are supposed to be teammates. And you are here. Well, theoretically, he has the same right to win I do, but hey, I'm the player here, you know? I have benefits. Right, so I actually have to cheer against my teammate here if I wanna win. That's messed up. How did you even get first, though? You are not first right now. Though he might not be the only one with that amount of points, so if anyone else like that wins, I'm in the same amount of trouble. Yeah, my teammate is not first now. He might be second, possibly. And I did that corner as fast as I physically could, and it still was not enough to keep up with these assholes in front of me. God damn.
Right on to lap 2. You're keeping up with the pace.
No, dude, I'm not. Don't lie to me. This has to be another restart. I mean, the only reason why I finished sixth in the previous one is because I had a better start, but well, at least finishing 6th place is fitting with the car. It has a number 6, so why not, right? This is gonna be impossible. I might actually need to qualify, dude. That's why I didn't want to have a low amount of points when this shit pile of a track appeared.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah. Like, not to mention that it's the worst version of this location. Well, of this track, I guess I should say. But at least we made it to 6th. Now, if only my teammate doesn't win, we will be... Well, I don't know if that will be enough. Maybe it wouldn't. Well, it's not enough if I do that, for fuck's sake. Damn it. So annoying. As we were talking about mods, it would be nice to put a mod that removes this track from the game. That will be nice. Well, and while we are at it, remove Okutama as well. Okay, this is not happening at this rate. Like, I dread the idea that I might need to redo the whole thing. Not like it was very long, but it's still gonna be annoying. And And I don't think that a quali is gonna go well here. I cannot do a fast lap here. Like, with or without other cars in the grid, it's not gonna happen. Shut up, dude. I'm being pushed too far right now.
And we're heading into the
Okay,
final round.
we're gonna be here for a while.
All be decided.
After all, we will be here for a while.
Good luck, my friend. I think you may have upset them.
You know, I'm about to mute the announcer. I'm right about to do it. Like, I'm very close to doing it.
Big race tonight. Push for a decent position.
Like, do it again and I'm muting you. I won't hesitate. Hey, just do it again. Just dare to do it again. And see how it goes for you. Probably should restart this one at 2. I guess being able to get past the first corners, it's a luxury. Damn it, dude. Alright, fuck, I'm qualifying, because if I don't, this is gonna take an eternity. That being said... Wait. Oh, okay. I don't think I can do a good time on a quali here. This track, as I mentioned 100 times by now, is putrid trash. An actual piece of shit. So I don't think I'm gonna do much. And especially not with a car like this. But yeah, I guess it's worth trying. I mean, better than restarting over and over again, that's for sure. Like, instead of restarting the race, I'm gonna be restarting the quali, so doesn't make a difference, I guess. But at least here, if I manage to get one good lap time, it's, you know. Though wait, is this a good idea? Yeah, it is, because I was about to say that means that the guys that were in a good position will be in a good position again. But man, I'm not doing this. I cannot do this track. Like, I'm physically unable to do this track. I simply cannot do this track. I don't know what it is about it, but it's so obnoxious of a track. I'm 2 seconds behind you, really. Okay, no. You have to redo this. Oh wait, when I put quit, it quit the quali, really? So you were gonna quit the whole thing? Okay, well, might as well do one more try. At this point, I cannot... Under these circumstances, I cannot win. It's impossible. It's just not possible to win in these circumstances. So I will have to redo the tournament. not like I'm the only one, by the way, crashing against the wall like that. The opponents do that too. If I can get the 6th place here and my teammate doesn't win, maybe I'm still able to win, but I don't think I can get to 6th place now. Like, those guys are simply faster, and that's the end of that. Not much I can do about it. Not to mention that they are already catching up with the guys ahead. So they are clearly not even supposed to be this slow. I just murder that guy. At this point I will murder every single asshole in this grid and I wouldn't feel guilty about it.
This is the final lap. Let's get out of mid-pack.
Promise that this 7th place is most likely not enough. Even if my teammate doesn't win, I don't think that 7th place is enough points to prevent the other guys from winning. I will try, but I mean, 6th place already was not enough. Yeah, there's no way this is gonna be enough. It's fine though, it's not like there's much remaining of the race anyways. This won't be enough. It was enough? No way. So... Alright, I'm not questioning anything. I'm out of here. I don't want to see this tournament again. So yeah, let's not look back or ask questions, okay? Whew, what a piece of shit, dude. It's fine. What's this? Oh, these are the classic cars. I still think these cars are from the 80s, but the game keeps refusing to say that, even though it say that the other ones were from the 60s. These ones I think they are, I don't know, dude. Well, this, by the way, they are not as hard to drive as the 60s ones, but they are very annoying. Well, an incredible way to start, indeed. Hey, wait, what truck was this? I wasn't paying attention. I think it's the one from Australia. No, I think it's the Chinese one. Yeah, that's the Chinese flag, isn't it? Well, these are hard trucks, but whatever. These cars are relatively similar to the ones I used recently, the 60s one.
You're in mid-pack going into lap 2.
Yeah, pretty similar. I guess these ones have slightly better handling, but they are still those type of cars that have too much power for their own good, you know? The kind of cars that Would be better if they were slower, you know?
To the top spot.
Come on, dude. Wow, I just destroyed that guy pretty badly. What's a burnout style takedown? Holy shit. Well, it's fine. I'm sure he doesn't mind. But here finishing in these positions, as long as we don't have a last stage in Barcelona, is gonna be fine. I didn't check what the stages are though. What do we have? Okay, well, Okutama. It's just as bad. God damn it, dude. Doing Okutama with this thing is messed up. And differently from Barcelona, that I think it has like 5 variants, Okutama only has 2, plus the sprint race, I guess. That one is not sprint. Well, only 2 if you don't count the reverse ones, I guess. I don't think I drive this badly since I started the playthrough. Like, I'm driving so badly, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. But I can assure you that, well, I mean, I cannot really blame the car if I cannot use it properly, but yes, part of the reason is that these cars are very hard to drive. I'm trying my best, whether you believe that or not. Yes, I am trying my best. But yeah, it's just that I guess my best is bad. I don't think you mind that, Mr. Andre, right? After all, you're already a nemesis, so
You're keeping up with the pace.
I don't think you mind a couple more hits. Yeah, that has been a fucking disaster, I can tell you that. Can we go back to the touring cars? Like, this car looks amazing, of course, and all of that, like, but these are very uncomfortable. And unlike the pickup trucks that are very hard to drive, at least those don't go fast. These ones do go fast though.
Okay, don't be surprised if they're gunning for you now.
Well, compared to the to those formula things, right? Those are also fast and hard to handle. I don't know, like, here it will be... I mean, they are probably still harder to handle than these ones. Most likely. If I had to take a guess.
You're on pace. Make some gains in lap 2.
I thought this was gonna be a third place, yes I was. relatively close to them, but no. I guess it will not. Maybe it will. I'm starting to believe on the third place here. But even though this is fourth and third place so far in the races I done, and the next one is Okutama, and I don't know which version of Okutama, but regardless of which version is, whether it's the short or the long version, it's still gonna be a disaster. So these points better be enough at least to take the championship lead, because otherwise... what the hell are you doing, dude? I'm a little bit frustrated right now. I gotta say. See, the thing is that I know that there are some people that like these cars because they tend to be not popular choices in games, right? Like they are not that common to see them. But I think that there is a reason why it's not common to see them, you know? I mean, like, there is a reason why... Well, at least in simulators, which is not what this game is, but... In simulators, the most popular category is GT3, right? And that is simply because they are cars that kinda do what you want them to do. They are extremely responsive cars. So it's nice to have like an extra thing once in a while with... Wow, I murdered that guy. Today I murdered the whole grid. Nice. Pretty cool. Anyways, I was out to say that there are people that like that variety, and I like that variety too, but I think that here you are using them a little bit more than I wish you did. You see, these cars are super hard to handle, but then again, you will enable racing aids, and that will probably make them, you know, more responsive, I guess. But you see, you might be seeing the way that I'm driving and like I'm being super aggressive and all of that, but trying to do these corners properly, you know how hard it is. Even not trying to overtake whoever I have in front, it's very hard to do these things in a way that... Yeah, like that. That doesn't end up making me do that. Also, everyone else behind already caught up, and I'm not surprised.
This is the final lap, my friend.
At least if I manage to win this race, I can probably just retire from the next one and still win the tournament. Oh, this guy is starting to feel the pressure too. Oh, and someone is slapped. And you had to get in my way, nice. Well, at least you got into his way too. That's the second time I see someone being lapped. It's not very frequent. Alright, so which version of Okutama are we gonna do? You see, the idea of retiring and not doing it and simply finish the tournament right there is sounding like a very good idea right now. So yeah, what Okutama do you have? Okay, it's the long version, so yes, I will. But hopefully it's still enough to win. It should, but we will see. If it isn't, well, guess you swallow your pride. Oh, you need to wait for the countdown, my bad. So the countdown happens and then you could retire. So by doing that, oh, this one asshole Luis Chacobs, and he had to tie points with me, like he just had to. Well, then again, you could keep retrying until he's not on the lead anymore, you know? Oh, but there are multiple contenders. Ah, fuck, dude. Well, that sucks. I guess we will have to do Okutama after all. Damn it. I really thought I had enough points to just warrant this, but I guess not. So then again, I'm pretty sure those guys that are getting those points are not the ones that will normally get them, and they are just getting them because you're retiring, so the game just picks from whoever has the most amount of points in the tournament or something like that. Maybe not, but it kinda feels like it is that way. I'm not sure how many points will be needed. Well, if it is the way I say it, you need 0 points. The difference is that you need 0 points and the fact that the other guys finish in a worse position. Okay, that time it did work. Maybe you needed to keep going a little bit for the game to actually calculate the results more accurately or whatever. Yeah, that works. Okay. Nice, at least we didn't need to do Okutama after all. Whew. Alright. Like, again, I appreciate how these cars look and all of that, but can we have cars that, you know, don't feel like... Okay, we're actually going to NASCAR. I was gonna say, can we have cars that don't feel like a pain to drive? NASCAR is not really like that, you know, at all. But hey, it's something different. If this is anything like actual NASCAR, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Just want you to know that. Also, what the fuck is this Jupiter thing? This is not a real brand, is it? Like, are you just using royalty-free stuff? Because you don't have the license to NASCAR? But yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have the license to NASCAR, but I'm surprised you don't have the license for... Like... Though then again, this is this supposed to be a top NASCAR category? I'm not sure. Maybe it's supposed to be like one of the mid-tier NASCARs. See, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't have any problems to get the license to... Well, to models that you already kinda have, but in other shapes, you know? Okay, yeah. Though, regardless of what the brand is or what not, these cars handle exactly like NASCAR cars do, which is essentially they cannot steer. Like, steering with these things is... yeah. You know, the funny thing is that the pickup trucks had better handling than this. They definitely did. This is not a surprise, having NASCAR in anything that is not an oval is gonna look like this. You know, NASCAR are cars that no matter what, they are cars meant for oval. Like, you don't want to use these things in tracks like this one. Well, I mean, this is still an oval, but we are not using the full oval version, you know. But yeah, you don't want to take these things outside of an oval. Like, they don't work for that, dude. They don't do that well. The pickups have more downforce and less HP. Well, yeah, the fact that they are slower definitely helps them being easier to handle. These ones, like, I don't think that they are unstable as the pickup in corners, but they understeer so much. And again, I know that that's something normal. NASCAR cars are like this. You cannot do much when it comes to steering. They are basically like boxes, like very heavy boxes that are not ready for this sort of stuff. But yeah, I already learned that the hard way in Gran Turismo. You know, like the first time. Well, that technically wasn't the first NASCAR game I had. Well, I mean, Gran Turismo is not a NASCAR game, but I mean that not my first interaction with a NASCAR car in a video game. But the thing is that before that, I was too young to even play these things properly. So when I played Gran Turismo 5 and there was the NASCAR events, like, you could see how extremely hard to steer these things were. And then, like, more recently, I watch people playing simulators with NASCAR cars, and yes, these things cannot steer. And in real life, it's hard to tell because of the cameras, because usually you don't tend to have an onboard camera, and even if you do, you know, there's something very interesting about NASCAR cars, and this is something that I found. Well, I found it to be pretty interesting, but also pretty fucked up. NASCAR cars don't have a speedometer. They only show you the revolutions per minute. You cannot know what your current speed is. You can calculate it, of course, like you look at the RPM and what gear you're currently at, and you're like, okay, I'm more or less going at this speed, right? But yeah, you cannot see your speed in a NASCAR car. Pretty funny, isn't it? But yeah, it's one of those things that makes it even harder to see just how hard it is to handle one of those things. Because you, even looking at an onboard camera, you might be thinking, oh well, they are going fast. But then you look at the speed they are going, and well, yes, they are going fast, but I mean, when they take a corner, that speed has to go down a lot. It has to go down a lot. Also, by the way, these cars, well, I mentioned it before, but I guess I'm asking you now, since you seem to know more about this than me, Hehan. These cars are not real, are they? Like this Jupiter, whatever, are these real cars? They don't look like real cars to me. Yeah, on road courses. Yeah, that's why I say that NASCAR cars are built for ovals. You take them to road courses and yeah, it becomes what it becomes. They look fictitious. Well, they don't only look fictitious, they sound fictitious. Like, what kind of name is Jupiter? I don't think I remember any brand called like that. But I'm surprised, like, I understand you not getting the NASCAR license, obviously, like, that can be expensive. But you don't have, like, the, I don't know, well, what you were saying the other day, like the Toyota Camry, right? You don't have that? But forget about Toyota, since I think actually this game doesn't have Toyota cars. You don't have the Ford and the Chevrolet when you already have other Fords and Chevrolets in the game? That seems weird. Isn't that supposed to be a Chevy? It could be, but yeah, that's what makes me like what feels weird about this. You already have other Chevrolets. In fact, you have multiple Chevrolet Camaro in the game. Well, you also have the Corvette, and you have the Ford Mustang and many other Fords as well. So couldn't you just simply have that? I guess maybe there is a license that says that if you have that same car and you paint it like this, it counts as a breach of copyright. Come on. Well, I mean, it makes sense that I had set the track limits there, but for fuck's sake. Not to mention that here the rain definitely doesn't help. It certainly does not.
Listen, watch these conditions. It'll be wet all race.
Your mom is wet all race. And I'm not specifically talking about this event. But the point is that if these things are already hard to drive when there is no rain, when there is rain, yeah. Well, the thing is that they are not gonna understeer more than they already do. But the corner exit will be worse, yeah. The understeering will be just as terrible, don't worry about it. The rain is not gonna change that. The corner exit is the one you gotta be more careful about. Now, knowing that this car is most likely fictitious, it reminds me of those LMP from previous grid games that had the brand Lola. Those are also fictitious, right? Like, I don't remember hearing about any brand with that name. The only thing that makes me doubt that is that they showed up in 2 games. Well, 2 games of this same franchise. I mean, like 2 different games. Then again, I guess that's not surprising, if anything. If you cannot get the license the first time, you wouldn't get it the second time. And you will just repeat whatever thing you have. I don't know. I don't think it is a real brand. But then again, I also didn't know about some brands before. Like that one, I don't remember. It's a Swedish brand. I forgot the name right now. Polaris, I think. Or was Polaris the model of the car? No, I think it was the name of the brand. Well, I didn't know that, but it is a real brand. Yeah, they are reusing assets. Well, more than assets, they are reusing brands to make them seem more in universe. I mean, after all, both the first game and Autosport use Raven West as a competing team. And Raven West, well, obviously it's not real, but the point is that they make it feel part of the game universe. There are some Shard Track Oval Saturday series that use brandless cars. Brandless cars? You mean in real life? Like, are you talking about real life? Like the Track Oval Saturday series? Or are you talking about a game? Because how will you use a brandless car? I mean, I guess you can rip off the logo from the body, but in real life, yeah, but I mean, unless somehow you have someone doing their own car parts on their garage, like, it will still be an actual car with a brand, right? Like, you will use the engine from a specific car and maybe the body from another one, but it will technically still be a, you know, a car, just that you kind of hide the brand, right? Because I find it hard to believe that people will build their own engines on their own. That seems, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's like trying to build a computer on your own. I mean, you could, but doesn't seem very possible. Like, it just seems that they should take parts from existing cars, right? Wait, oh, you should say that. Sorry, I didn't read that part. My bad. Sometimes sorry. So you say they use frames and bodies? Well, but that's the thing. You say inspire on real old cards. But does inspire mean that they literally take it from them? Or... because inspire is a different thing that, you know, taken from. I actually wonder. Well, as you will know, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know how feasible it will be for someone to build their own engine. I don't think it's feasible at all, though. I mean, unless you're a millionaire and you purchase a factory, I guess. You will need to be more than a millionaire to purchase a factory. Also, result-wise, I'm doing better than I was expecting, somehow. Only result-wise, I'm still driving like shit, but these are good results. The Hillbillies and Regnes weld their own body cars. The engine, of course, they use it from real brands. Yeah, but that's the thing. If you use an engine taken from another car, you are essentially just driving that car. You could replace, obviously, the body, as you say, they wheel it and all of that, but at the same time, you are just driving that other car. Like, the engine is that, it's just that, like, it's what represents a car. You know? And obviously there are multiple cases where you can grab a car and replace its engine with a more powerful one, and you could still say that you're driving the car that the body it shows. Like, I don't know, you could... Actually, the example I was gonna give is fictional, but in the case of Initial D, the main character is driving like a very shitty car, and at some point it replaces the engine of that car for one of a rally car. So even though then you could still say, oh, I'm driving the original car, don't worry about it, I'm pretty sure that it's like, no, you're just driving the car you took that engine from. Because yes, a car is more than an engine. Like, you have many other things going on in a car, but feel like it's the most important thing. So in the case of those brandless cars, I will just say that they are the brand of whatever engine they are using. So I don't know, if they are using the engine of a Ford Mustang, you're essentially driving that. There's also the case that engines, for what I understand, multiple brands use engines from other brands. I don't remember if it was the case of Toyota or who, but at some point it's like they didn't they didn't use their own engines in their own cars, and yet they were still obviously Toyota cars. But I guess that's actually an interesting thing to think about, right? Lots of cars kinda share a very similar engine that might not be the exact same, but each part is practically taken from different brands. One car could use a Chevy engine, a Ford suspension, a rear axles from Dodge. Yeah, you know, when I think about it, some production cars don't even use engines from their own company. So taking that into account, I guess yes, it makes sense that an engine wouldn't just be the sole thing representing a car after all. They are arguably though the most important part, that's for sure. Also, this is a time attack on Okutama. That's a beautiful way to start, isn't it? Amazing even. Yeah. What was off track of that? Well, then again, this being a time attack means that you're not gonna get a penalty, you're simply gonna get your track nullified. You have 3 in total. I like that it says here, I'm on the lead. Yeah, I'm on the lead after skipping the track twice or 3 times, I guess. Yeah, that would have been the fastest lap. Obviously, that cannot be allowed. Oof, I'm surprised that wasn't off track. Okay, that's... yeah, that is off track. Damn it. Damn, and I also did that super slow there. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. And in time attack, as I said before, you cannot simply get into a bad position and get carried by points, because they will... like, the guys that are the fastest ones will always be the fastest ones. God damn it. Okay, this is a problem. At least it's not the full version of Okutama. I guess we gotta look at the right side, you know? It's still a problem. Fuck. I also kinda wanna clean my car. I think that this one I never cleaned it. I just wanna quit it simply to clean the car and then come back. Especially a car that is this color, it makes the dirt even be more prevalent. Okay, let me clean it. Though I still like, that shouldn't be an option. Like, who wants to see their own car dirty? Why would you want to see your own car dirty? Yeah. I guess some people enjoy that. Well, after all, No, we were talking about ovals earlier. Well, there are some people that go into dirt ovals, which are basically ovals that instead of being made out of asphalt, they are made out of dirt. And yeah, you drift and you basically, it's kind of like playing in the mud, like a pig, but you are doing it inside of a car, so I guess you get less dirty. The car definitely doesn't get less dirty though. Yeah. That's a thing on its own. Well, and there's obviously rally, but I think rally is a different thing, because in rally you're essentially trying to, in a very, I guess, poetic way more than anything, you're trying to conquer nature. A dirt oval is basically like an artificial environment that is just full of dirt. So you're not really conquering shit there. Or well, I guess you could say that you are conquering shit. That's what dirt looks like. But yeah. Pretty funny. Dirt oval is certainly a thing. I don't think it's the kind of thing I will do. But then again, maybe if I had like an easy access to that and like that was the hobby of my hometown or whatever, yeah, maybe I will be into it. I mean, those are the type of things that are mostly traditions. Like, they are there simply because. So if you grow up in a place like that, I'm pretty sure that it will be natural that you probably will be into it if you are into cars, right? That's not gonna be first place. Second place, wait, it was actually third. That probably will need to be a restart though. As I say here, the fastest ones will keep being the fastest ones. So yeah. Second was acceptable, but third I don't think it is. I hear you actually need the same mentality that I had in Grid Autosport. Like, well, in Grid Autosport though, I guess it's a bad example because the tournaments usually were pretty long and there were multiple instances for you to get points, but yeah. I mean more like in games that tend to have 2 or 3 races in a tournament. In those, my mindset is, if you cannot get first, get second. And if you do get second, you need to get first on the next one. But anything less than that is just not acceptable if you wanna win. And here I obviously wanna win. Now the question is, will that lap time be enough to last me till the end of the event? No, it will not, actually. It of course will not, but we can fix it, surely. You had to off track there, you sack of shit. I was kinda seeing it coming, but... Alright, this second place, as I say though, I'm willing to accept it assuming it is a second place. Because it might not be. Like last time that I got sniped at third. And I got sniped again. Fuck. Okay. I need to do better. I need to do way better than that. But then again, this being Okutama, I'm not surprised I'm struggling like this. Man, I fucking hate this track so much. I really do. You know, the other day someone was asking me if I played the game Toka, which is like a very classic touring car game made by these same guys. And the thing about that game is that, well, first of all, the handling is atrocious. Like, it's a game that is barely even playable. But even taking that out of the equation, Okutama appears in those games. That's where that track originated from. It's not a real track, it's an original track. So if I already didn't have motivation to play them because, you know, their physics were trash, imagine adding to that the fact that this putrid track exists there. Yes. Tell me more so I can play it even less. It's a shame though, because they are games that look like they could be fun if the handling wasn't trash. And I thought that it was only me in like those Toka games, right? I thought that I was the one that was bad. But then I seen people talk about the game online, and they say the same thing, that the handling in Toka is trash. So yeah, I guess it's not just me. But that's the problem of those games in the PS1 era, trying to be simulators before the technology was even close to that. So you end up having a game that it's essentially well, not unplayable in a literal sense, obviously, but unplayable in the sense that you cannot, it's not a game made to have fun, you know? It's kind of like, you know, that game, a Flash game that is pretty old and it used to be a popular thing back then. I think it's called Co-op, like QWOP. You basically were supposed to be an athletic runner, and you needed to basically control your limbs separately to run, right? And obviously that was the whole point of the game, that it was intentionally like bullshit controls to make it hard to play. Yeah, that was the whole point. But the thing is that that's how it feels to play games like Toka, games that are from, you know, a bygone era, where in that case devs were trying to, you know, do something technologically advanced only to fall very short. So yeah, and yeah, differently from Co-op, like it was intentionally made that way. So rather, I meant the opposite. It was not intentionally made to be unplayable. It was intended to be realistic, only to obviously not be realistic. Just be something that, you know, it's there. And obviously, if you try your hardest to get used to the controls, you can probably have fun. But the thing is that you will probably have to practice for multiple days just to be able to drive the car. And I'm sorry, that's not something that feels very attractive to do. Like, it feels attractive in the case I was using like a simulation setup, and I don't mean to play that specific game, I mean to play actual simulators like Assetto Corsa or whatever. Like, in those games, if I had a simulator setup, like, it would take me multiple days to get used to the controls. But in that case, I wouldn't mind, because yes, it's something that it's meant to be hard, because it's meant to be mimicking actual real-life driving, and I never drive even a commute car before, so it obviously will take a long time for me to get used to it. But the thing is that I will be willing to do that because yes, it's supposed to be relatively realistic. Like, it's the closest that I will be to driving a racing car, right? But yeah, in something like Toka... Wait, that guy lost his tire? And it's pretty wild. I was about to say, in something like Toka, why will you get good at it? Like, in this day and age, right? Like, why will you get good at that game? Like, yes, if it was the 90s, sure. But right now... Well, you could, of course. I'm not saying you cannot. I should say that I don't have any reason to. Also, how is it going, Metits? It's been a while. How have you been doing? How is your game doing? I'm just here as usual, playing a racing game. Seems that lately is what I do the most. Struggling with mental health. Game is still frozen. Well, sorry to hear that. It happens. Can't do much about those things. You know that the brain is the one organ that medics still didn't figure out how to heal. Well, I guess medics also didn't figure out how to heal aging. But the point is that taking aging out of the equation, yeah, medics haven't figured out how to make bad thoughts go away. Well, they kind of figure out some ways, but I don't think turning into a zombie is what I would call a solution. You see, like there is medicine to suppress bad thoughts, but rather than medicine, it's like, I don't know, like you have a bruise in your hand and you chop your wait, I say your head, I mean your hand. You have a bruise in your hand and you should chop the hand off, and it's like, yeah, Fitzer, should I accept this result? I shouldn't. I don't know what the last track is, but it's gonna be an issue. I need to figure out how to heal the brain. Yeah, and as I say, you cannot. Medics have not been able to. So, yeah, it is a shame. Well, if it makes you feel better, the thing is that medics themselves are probably struggling with that, you know? Like, it's not that they didn't find it because they don't want it, because it will, you know, make them obsolete or whatever. They probably will want that as well. Especially, you know, medics that work for, like, things like emergency rooms and shit. Those guys are probably, like, very stressed out. So they probably will be the first ones that will want something that fixes the brain. But yeah, they cannot find it. It's not possible. But hey, it's fine. Could be worse. Could it? Well, I always think about some very unique cases in some people's brain where they cannot remember what happened like a couple minutes ago, and not because they weren't paying attention. Like, that happens with me. Like, I don't remember things that happened minutes ago because I don't pay much attention to a lot of things. But no, I'm talking about people that even paying the most amount of attention, they cannot retain things that happened a minute ago. That must suck, right? Like not being able to remember anything. That really must suck. But would it? Well, yes, it will. But the thing is that sometimes maybe not remembering things will be for the best, right? Depending on the things you remember. Well, I guess you can always look at the bright side of things. But yeah, it all depends on perspective. What your perspective about things is. Man. Anyways, I hope at least that it's not too bad. Well, in my case, I think my mental health is fine, but this was a pretty stressful week for me. Well, I was saying that yesterday, I think, but believe it or not, I actually need to work in my shop, right? And it's something that I'm not used to. So when they actually make me work, I remember that, you know, shops can be stressful. In this case, it's not really that much the workload, but rather that I'm working with new technologies and I need to learn. And I forgot how annoying it is to learn and how much I dislike learning. So yeah, I don't like learning. I'm not a fan. I mean, you could say that I like learning things I like about, like for example, I don't know, learning about a new game that I might like. But I don't think that's the learning I'm talking about. I mean the learning that basically goes to like studying territory, right? Well, in this case it's not like I'm really studying, but the brain power that I'm using is similar to the one that I used back when I studied, and it hurts a little bit. It hurts my brain. I remember I used to be in a... Wait, actually no, keep going. This is a third place on the final time attack. This is probably enough to win. It most likely is enough to win. It is enough to win, and by a lot. Holy shit. I'll take it. I remember I used to be in a bad shape in terms of mental health 5 or 6 years ago. It was horrible. Thankfully, I mean, it's in the past for the most part. I think that when it comes to mental health, the only time I really struggled was when I was a teenager, and that's because I was extremely afraid of death, which is a very common fear, you know. Like it's actually very, very common to be afraid of death, but I was afraid of death to the point that everything kinda seemed pointless, and every time I would think about that I would just get sad and sometimes even cry, you know. That's what I remember. That was like, I don't know, well, when I was a teenager was like 15 years ago, more than that I guess. It wasn't just being a teenager, I think I was a young teenager. I was like, what, 13 or 14? So yeah, I remember that. I think that's the hardest that I struggle with mental health. Probably. I don't know. The thing about mental health is that maybe to my detriment, I don't know, I never really paid attention to it. Now, usually, aside from that specific thing that I just mentioned, like, I tend to not really think too hard about... Like, when things get uncomfortable to think about, I stop thinking about them. Usually, not always, but I don't really... Wait, no way, that was the first terminal damage impact I had. Huh. Damn, so that can actually happen. Why was that the first time though? Pretty sure I had way worse impacts like that and they weren't terminal damage. Wow. Okay, well, nice. There's a first time for everything, you know? But yeah. That's usually, I guess, lately how I deal with it. Like back then, I honestly don't remember, aside from that case, what happened when bad thoughts came to my mind. But lately, if bad thoughts come to my mind, I just try to think of something else, and that's it. You know. Being simple-minded is a gift, and it's something that I think I'm driving towards. I think I'm becoming more and more simple-minded as time passes, and I think that it's for my own good. Having very complex thoughts and... Well, having complex thoughts is whatever, but the point is that having complex thoughts that bring you down... yeah, you don't want to have those. Your teacher say the only thing in life is... Wait, hold up. Let me read that one more time. Will not be safe off is death and being cheated off. Yeah, I think that's her projecting. Not the first part, yeah, that is inevitable. The getting cheated part is, well, skill issue. Well, unless... Well, being cheated doesn't necessarily mean in a relationship, I guess. You can be scammed, and I guess that could count as being cheated, maybe. Probably. Or, well, someone literally cheating in a competition or whatever, I guess. Well, yeah, if she was talking specifically about relationship cheating, that's, well, one, projecting, and two, skill issue. It's those two things. So yeah, don't pay attention to that second part. She was just projecting. Well, and the first one, yes. The first one, take it. I honestly prefer... Well, because that phrase is basically a bastardized version of a more popular phrase that says there are only two certain things in this world, and they are death and taxes. And that one is more real. Taxes are usually something that no matter where you go, you will have. Even if they are not called taxes, you know? You will always have to pay someone. Like, even if you are outside of the law and don't pay taxes, you at least... Like, unless you are an... No, but even... I was gonna say, unless you're an ultra-billionaire, I'm pretty sure those people are also grabbed by the balls by some other ultra-billionaires. I think it's impossible to be a person in this world and not having someone, obviously figuratively, by the balls, right? Not if you're a hobo. Well, if you're a hobo, that's the thing, that's what I was saying. If you're outside of the law, usually there are people that extort you and tell you, hey, we need our cut or else, you know? Maybe a hobo... Well, a hobo could also very easily have that issue, especially if they live among gangs, but... I guess that will be the closest example of someone with no taxes, a hobo living in a park of a place that doesn't have gangs. Outside of that, taxes are a thing. And also, I don't think you should strive to be a hobo, personally. It's just my thought, right? I think that, yeah, taxes are pretty shitty, but I'm not sure if being a hobo is the solution, you know? I think at that point, tax evasion is a more dignified path. Well, and multiple people do that. But the thing is that even people that tax evade pay taxes in some way or another, even if they don't have the name of tax. Because yeah, when you think of tax, usually you think of specific things that have the name of tax, but I mean, paying rent is a tax. Just that yes, it's not officially a tax, but I'm pretty sure, like I will have to look it up in the dictionary, I'm pretty sure the word tax simply refers to, you know, paying something to someone as a, you know, as a way to pay for a service, right? And that's something that you will always have at least one thing that represents that, whether it's rent or, you know, an actual tax, or as I say, like being in a gang and having to pay tribute to those people, right? In one way or another. I guess a more accurate way to twist that phrase, instead of the only certain thing are debts and taxes, will probably be well, the problem is that it wouldn't sound as cool if you said something like debt and obligations. That will sound that sounds pretty nerdy, honestly. So yeah, no, it doesn't have that nice ring to it. But yeah, I guess that one will be way more real, like way more accurate. You will always have obligations no matter what. And those obligations don't necessarily have to be, you know, with other people. Like the fact that you have to eat, I guess is, you know, well, I guess at that point it's more like a need rather than an obligation. I guess that's another word I should look in the dictionary. But yeah, the point is that yes, that will be more accurate, but it wouldn't sound as good. Just decided to try a demo of a game, and in the first run it was supposed to die, but I kill every enemy. Okay, so hold up. If you're so good, methods, why don't you try shoot 'em ups? If you think you are so good, why don't you just try shoot 'em ups? Because that's where the real thing is. Because you already didn't seem to be very fond of the I wanna be the guy fan games, right? Like platformers. But shoot 'em ups are very different from platformers. So have you ever considered... Oh, you also don't like shoot 'em ups? Because I knew you didn't like platformers that much, but... Well, at least the hardcore 2D platformers, but... You know... Have you tried shoot 'em ups? And if you try shoot 'em ups, which shoot 'em ups did you try? The thing about shoot 'em ups is that, well, like any video game genre, you have from very casual friendly to ball-bustingly hard. And depending on which one was your experience, it could completely shift your idea of the genre, you know? Ah, fuck. Oh wait, this is... Was supposed to steer right, although I was supposed to go left. I like top-down games like League, Diablo, and StarCraft. Well, technically, shoot 'em ups are top-down. You know, if you have a very creative vision, shoot 'em ups are top-down games. Well, no, I mean they are literally top-down games. It's just that they are not isometric view games. I don't know. Maybe you could try them. You know, in fact, some days ago, well, probably a week ago, maybe more than a week ago, they were able to decompile a very popular shoot 'em up that is also ball-bustingly hard. But hey, maybe you will like it or not. I don't know. But you know, that's the thing, since you're trying demo for indie games because they are something new and you don't know what to expect from them, right? It's a nice surprise. You could try this one. I mean, if you don't like it, it's not like you are forced to, oh, now that you started playing, you need to beat it. No, you don't need to do that. So you could try it, see if you like it. I will assume that you won't, mostly because despite being top-down, you don't control a ship with your mouse, you control it with your keyboard, well, or controller, I guess it will be a controller. But yeah, technically there is not the skill set that those games you mentioned have, which is mouse control plus, you know, keyboard as an aid, but yeah, the shoot 'em ups are just, you know, no mouse. Except for one, there is one game that is a shoot 'em up that uses a cursor to move, but it's a very experimental game. I haven't even played it. I do want to play it eventually, but I don't think it's something I will recommend to someone that is not used to shoot 'em ups. But yeah, I guess it's the closest you will have to mouse control on a shoot 'em up. Well, there are probably also tons of Flash games that did that as well, but I don't think recommending Flash games is also a good idea, personally. I think that might be an even worse idea. So, you know, one day, I feel like it would be nice to like download the Flash emulator. I don't remember which one it is, but download that and download like the most popular Flash games and just play through them. That'd be insane. I think I have many games in, you know, waiting for me to play them before doing something like that. It will just be, if anything, a very curious experience. Flash games, since they were, well, Flash games were essentially where indie games were born. So you can see anything. There's a League content creator who has been playing Flash games recently. Well, you could also do that. When it comes to Flash games, though, I played a lot of Flash games when I was a kid. The problem is, even though I have fond memories of them, and I guess you can say I'm nostalgic, I don't think there is a single one I can recommend. That's the funny thing about it. Differently from like console games from my childhood that not only I liked back then, I still like today because they were always good. With the Flash games, I wouldn't really say that. With Flash games, it's a different story. Many of them are impressive for what they are, and you can definitely have a good time, but in most cases, for every Flash game, there is a better, you know, commercial counterpart, usually. So I don't think I can recommend Flash games. What about Fireboy and Water Girl? I didn't play it. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I don't know. Like, in fact, when it comes to Flash games, it's possible that the ones that are considered popular, I haven't really played them. Like, you know, one thing I remember a lot is Cartoon Network back then had a web page where you could play games related to the shows that were airing, right? So I remember playing those type of Flash games a lot. Most people, when they talk about Flash game, they usually think of Newgrounds, right? That's how it was called, right? Like the Flash page. I think it was called Newgrounds. Like, most people think of that, but I didn't really play with Newground games that much. I used to just play that sort of shit, like Cartoon Network games. And they weren't really that good at all. I guess they were sufficient. I will recommend that, but you need another person to play it. Well, I could think about it if I think of doing a co-op stream. It's not like it's the first time I will do a co-op stream. I did I wanna be the co-op with Draynor. I played Resident Evil 5 with Kyle. I played what was that game called? Theater Block something. It's made by the same guys that made that other game that I also forgot the name of. Nice, pretty good memory. But yeah, I played that with Clone Cat. Then I think I played something else with someone else, or did I? Well, like I mentioned Draynor. Oh yeah, I played against Tokyo Defenders with Yannick. I almost forgot about that. That was pretty fun. That was like, what, 3 years ago? Well, last time I played a co-op game on stream, I think it was more than a year ago. I played Resident Evil 5 with Kyle on like the hardest difficulty. That's the last one I did. I mean, my problem with playing co-op games on stream, you know that I'm a very punctual person. I basically start the streams at at the same time every day. And the issue is that being able to have someone else also do that is very hard. Not like, I'm not saying like these 4 people that I play co-op with were extremely nice when it comes to being punctual and actually showing up, and if they couldn't, they would let me know, right? But the thing is that it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to coordinate with someone so they are ready when you need them to be ready. So that's kind of like the most painful thing about co-op streams, like organizing and making sure that both of you are ready. And as I say, thankfully it went well the 4 times I did it, but it's still complex. But yeah, I guess it's more complex because of me, because most people will be like, hey, you wanna play? And they are like, sure, are you available now? Yes, and then they play. But in my case, I like to stream at a very specific time, you know? So yeah, it was very hard to organize when I was in a team. Oh yeah, well, if you play League of Legends, so you know more than anyone how hard it is to coordinate, right? Well, unless you queue solo. I don't think queuing solo is a good idea, especially at your level. I think that if anything, that's just like wanting to get angry. Yeah, most people tend to have different schedules. It's something that I think I remember hearing from League of Legends players, that queuing solo is for masochists. At least at a certain level. I'm assuming that queuing solo in low ranks is whatever. I mean, you probably suck just as much as everyone else anyways. But yeah, when you are in the higher ranks, it's probably a different story. Maybe the same thing happens with games like Counter-Strike and shit. But then again, you know, I was never a fan of multiplayer games. Especially competitive multiplayer games, so I cannot really relate to any of that. It's for masochists, but it's also the most common way to play. League is very antisocial, it doesn't even have voice chat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it had voice chat, multiple people would have been thrown to jail. Well, at least if they live in the UK, I guess. Damn, that's the second show that I make today at the expense of British people. I think they are gonna end up hating me. Nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's just banned, okay? Like, if there's something that British people are used to, is banned. I'm just banting, bro. Don't worry. Just a little bit of cheeky band, mate. They even removed duo queue from top ranks because people were complaining it's not fair. That's pretty funny. It's not fair that I can actually organize with people. Well, I guess there is a point to be had there, but yeah, I think that removing it is a little bit too far. Also, this was nice. This will be the last event I'll do for today, and it seems that we are back at the LMPs, so that's nice. These cars were insane, pretty fun because of how extremely fast they are, and they also have probably the best handling in the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to get my ass kicked. I'm just kidding. I have this. Don't worry about it. But yeah, the most that I play when it comes to multiplayer games tends to be co-op. Like with people I know, I mean, yes, I play random ranking fighting games, sure, but when it comes to playing as a team with other people, I don't think I ever did that competitively. I do remember once doing Heroes of the Storm, and after a couple matches I was like, this shit sucks, let's not do this. I think that's the only. Well, I also did a couple of Counter-Strike games for fun, but I wouldn't really call that competitive. And they made it so you can queue as 5 the community. Hold up. The community outcry made them remove it after a year. And yeah, I can imagine that the League of Legends community is very special, probably. Not to mention extremely big. That's quite a combination. And not to mention that being a game where you are forced to go against other people, like the community being a certain way can be an issue, differently from like something like the Sonic community. You know, a lot of people say that the Sonic community is trash and whatever, but the good thing about the Sonic games is that you can ignore everyone else because the games are single player, obviously. So no need to engage with the community. But in League of Legends and games like that, yes, you need to engage with the community. That's kind of the point. I played a bit of Heroes of the Storm. I played a little bit mostly because my friends that played it were big Blizzard fans. Well, not of the company itself, but rather the games that the company made, like Diablo and well, whatever else they did. Like, you know, StarCraft as well. In fact, I remember, you know, I had a friend that basically pirated every single game in existence. Like, he almost never purchased an original game. And I remember that the one game they purchased was StarCraft original. Like, that one, they like it so much that they purchased it. I used to want to work at Blizzard, but they suck. Well, working on a video game company is not a good idea, no matter how you look at it. Like, the only way to have fun making video games is if you make your own, and even then, it's still hard to find that fun. But yeah, working at a video game company, like, I'm pretty sure, even though it is quite different, I guess, but it's probably not much different than working at an anime company, as an animator, of course. You basically get exploited to hell and back. And in this case, like in this particular point in time, both things are being looked to being replaced by AI. Like both coders and animators. So if it already sucked balls before, it will suck even more balls now that at some point they are gonna be like, okay, you will stay in this company if you're able to either use AI or work as fast as it. And that's assuming they don't just fire you and simply replace you, of course. That they could do that. But yeah, it's that sort of thing where I don't think you wanna work there. Or any video game company for that matter. Like, and yes, as I say, even less so in this day and age. Then my car looks amazing, look at that. That's funny. That was a clean win. I kind of forgot when was the last time I had a clean win in this game. Yeah, I had it now, I guess. Yeah. You know, I was gonna say, if you like top-down isometric games, maybe you should try Ragnarok Online. I don't think I can recommend Ragnarok Online to a single person. No, not a good idea, no. You know, I think Ragnarok Online is probably the closest I have to what League of Legends players have with League of Legends. You know how everyone, pretty much everyone that plays leagues hates League and they keep playing it, right? Well, I think the closest I have to that in a video game is with Ragnarok Online. I think that it's an absolute shit game. I will not recommend it to everyone. It pisses me off and I still play it. It's pretty nice. I guess we all have though, like something like that, right? It's inevitable. I guess some people call it a guilty pleasure. That you know you shouldn't, but you do.
I think you may have upset them.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Well, I also, speaking of MMOs, I also heard that I don't know what they are having as an event in Final Fantasy XIV. And I cannot imagine paying for an MMO, and apparently that MMO is like you need to pay a subscription. Can you imagine paying for an MMO? I can't. But then again, I cannot imagine paying for any free-to-play game. To me it's like, well, not only I don't like paying, obviously, but to me it's like not much different than, like, for example, right now in this game I'm playing it in very hard difficulty, so it's just lowering the difficulty to easy, right? Except that here I don't need to pay for that. That's the thing, in MMOs it's like you're paying to make the game easier. Seems a little bit odd. I guess some people just really like the social aspect of those games and not the gameplay aspect, which is understandable, but I am the opposite. I just care about the gameplay. I mean, I played Ragnarok online with my friends too. It's not like I need to pay to do that. But for what I understand, in Final Fantasy XIV, you need to pay to even play the game. Like, not if you want to get an easier time. I think that you need to actually pay to play. Just like World of Warcraft, right? Why will you do that? But yeah, some people do that. I wouldn't. Then again, Final Fantasy is also one of those franchises that I never got into, so it's not even like I could have that draw. So yeah, no Final Fantasy XIV for me. People pay subscription for Netflix too, and I also cannot relate. You know, I don't pay a subscription for anything, well, except obviously the power and gas and the rent. Yeah, I guess you can call those subscriptions. But no, I mean a subscription to like an entertainment service. I don't do that. I wouldn't be able to do that either. Yeah, some people buy the new FIFA every day. That will be something. No, every year, yes, I know. At least Final Fantasy XIV makes new content. FIFA is the same. Well, it will be something if it was the same. The problem with FIFA is that it keeps getting worse in every iteration, right? And we are going to fucking Okutama. Yeah, I guess it's the fitting way to end the stream, right, on Okutama. No, I'm pretty sure I have enough points to retire and still win, but whatever. Yeah, I don't pay for entertainment subscriptions, especially, you know, when there is so much shit you can do without paying subscription. I mean, in my case, I'm obviously a video game freak. I love video games. Like, most people will probably get bored of video games at this point in their lives. I don't. And for someone like me, there are just so many video games to play, and so many of them that you can emulate, you know? Because you might be thinking, well, of the available options right now, I guess there is not that much, but you don't need to limit yourself to games that are available right now. You can play games from 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. That's the thing, the possibilities are endless. So why would I ever need to pay a subscription with so much content out there, right? There is just so much of it. Fuck. Damn it. Oh wait, hold up. If I retire, I'm still gonna be first, correct? And I will take it. Fuck Okutama, dude. This truck sucks. Even if it's with this car, I'd rather not. Yeah, there it is. Though that's a very anticlimactic end of the stream, honestly. Just that doing another race right now will probably make this pretty long. Like, see this one? Oh, and it's with these cars again. See, that's a problem. Maybe I could do this one instead. Okay, no. Damn, Okutama with the F1000, like, that's gonna be a piece of shit. Like, that combination has to be the most... Oh, but it's Okutama Sprint. Okay, could be worse, but yeah, that's gonna be terrible when I get to it. But no, I think I'm done for today. I think that we already had enough struggle, though we didn't really progress that much, to be honest. And mostly because I got stuck in multiple of these things, but there are essentially 4 events remaining on each of the main categories, and then you have the invitations that I have no clue how I'm gonna unlock. Because, like, for example, this one that says Shitty Series Group 2. Okay, I see it, but it's weird. Why does this get unlocked so late if it's so early in the list? I'm assuming the rest are the same. There is a bunch of shit remaining, I guess. Anyways, all that shit remaining will be for some other time. But yeah, have a good night, you too. And yeah, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream with more grid. So have a good one and take care.